Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is LeeAnna and I spent the last 3 or 4 days going through my inventory, and today I'm going to share with you why I did that and how it's going to help my business. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about my inventory system. If this is the kind of reseller content that you like, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. All right, let's hop right in. My inventory system, you know what, everybody has a bit of a different way. You do have to find out what works for you. Having a system though is really important to keep track of the things that are listed so that you can find them easily if you have a question or if you want to ship it out because it's sold. So it's really important to have some sort of system. I use sort of a combination of filing cabinets, clear totes, and I do also have a couple of wardrobe boxes that you get from movers. Those are for the heavier jackets and coats, and those are fantastic because the coats end up being hung up and they're also covered, so because they have a lid, so you don't have to worry about dust. I use clear totes because then at a glance I can tell if I can add to that tote or it's full. And also I can also kind of give a little bit of a look to see where the item I'm looking for is in that tote. So I do like the clear totes. I also use filing cabinets, and this is a fairly new thing for both Paul and I to use filing cabinets. It's just, oh, they're so easy. You know, you open the drawer and your stuff is right there. I mean, it doesn't hold nearly as much as totes, but it probably takes the 4 drawer filing cabinets, I'm going to say, take the place of 2 or 3 totes that are, for me, stacked on top of each other. I don't have a shelving unit. They're stacked on top of each other. It's just a cleaner look. It feels really good to have it like that, and it's more covered. It's a little more durable than totes are. I end up with a lot of broken lids because I do stack on top of each other. That so far is my system. I do not label each and individual item in that tote. It's just not something I find necessary. When something sells, I double check it with the sale with the item I'm grabbing, like, yep, that's the right thing, and off I go. I have a good general idea of what I pay for things because I just know my prices. And for me, one of the reasons I think people do individual numbers on items is to keep track of exactly what they're making on that item, which is fine. I mean, that's up to you if you want to do that. I don't think that's 100% necessary. I know that my accountant never asks for that kind of money, that you might, that kind of information. That's my accountant. You have to ask yours and go by what they tell you to do. Anyway, that's just another way that other people do it. And, that's fine. It works for them. Mine works for me. It has worked for me, but it's been getting really out of control and just messy. And I've had a couple of days or a couple of mornings when I went to search for something that sold and I had to go through all my totes. And that's annoying to have to, like, okay, I know I saw it. Where is it? And have to go through everything in order to find it. And it was getting to a point where it's like, yeah, okay, I got to go through my totes. You know what? I also wanted to purge my inventory. I've been talking about this, and I know that I have old listings that are just not going to sell, and I got to get rid of it. So I wanted to do that. So this past week, because I am on a no sourcing ban, or no sourcing, because I was getting out of control, I decided that I would take that extra time and go through my inventory and clean it up and rearrange the basement so I had more room and purge and condense and the whole bit. So I've been doing that all week and it's been amazing. So why would you go through your inventory? Well, first of all, you should be keeping track of your inventory anyway. Well, the reasons why I decided to go through it are, number one, I wanted to double check that all the listings that I had, the tote assignment was what was saying in the listing. So if this pair of Levi's in my listing said they were in tote A, I wanted to double check that they were in tote A on both Posh Canada and Posh US. So the way I did this is I chose a couple of totes. I think the first day I went through 3 totes. Tote number 1, I took everything out, made a note of what they were, yes, on paper with a pen. I love it. It just helps me think clearer when I write things down. So pen and paper. Everything in that tote got written down, folded nicely, put back in the tote, which created room, which was amazing. Went to the next tote and took maybe 10 items out of that, put them, add to tote number 1, folded them nicely, put it into the first tote till it was full. That was it. It was done. Put a lid on it, put it away. Fantastic. I did 2 or 3 totes. Came upstairs to my computer and I opened Posh Canada and Posh US, and I went through every single item that I had written down, and I double checked on both platforms to make sure that the tote was the right tote. So far I've got about 10 items that were not listed properly, so that's going to help me in the long run. So that's one of the reasons that I went through that. Another reason was I wanted to see if everything in the totes or in the inventory was listed, and I came away with 3 that were not listed, and I don't know why. So they're listed now, so that's good. I also wanted to find a few items that I wanted to rephotograph the cover photos, because I just wanted to do a better job, and I kept putting it off and putting it off. And when I came across them during my inventory session, I grabbed them and took them to the office, and they're being done right now, so I'm happy about that. I could also double check the items to make sure, things were still good, they weren't damaged. I did find one item, a mug, that had been chipped a little bit. Not that it said that in the listing, so I knew that that wasn't good, so I could delist that. So that was a good thing, because I'd much rather find it now than when it sells. So that was good. The 5th and 6th reason I did this was to condense my inventory so I had more room, and to purge my inventory, like I said before. I have listings that are so old. How old are they, kind of thing? So this is what I'm doing. I put them in a separate tote, not a clear one. It's blue. They're in a tote. I sent out heavy discounts on them. If they weren't bought, they're going into silent shows that I'm doing on Thursdays on Poshmark Canada. If they don't sell there, I'm going to see if a local consignment shop will take them. If they don't take them, they're getting redonated. That's it, they're done. It is time for me to let go. So this has been a really amazing sort of week for me to get some of this stuff done. Now, I'm not 100% finished yet. I still have a couple of filing cabinets to go through that I'm going to finish on Saturday while I'm downstairs doing laundry. The filing cabinets are a newer sort of addition to my inventory system, so I'm not nearly as concerned about what's in them, because I just was more awake when I was doing them. I don't even know how to put it. Anyway, so I did all this. How is this going to help my business? First of all, I condensed from, I think it was like 10 totes down to 6.5. That means I have room for more totes. And I rearranged my basement so that I have more room for more totes. More totes means more listings. So I can now, I don't have to sort of put the roadblock up or the brakes on with my sourcing. I mean, you always have to have some sort of brake on your sourcing, but now I know that I can go out and I have room for like 150 or so more listings, and that makes me feel good, because I am a firm believer. The more listings, good listings, because that is important, that you have, the better your sales are going to be. And yes, they have to be items that people want to buy, like, this. So I'm excited for that, having more room in order to have more listings. Excellent. I also did it so that I would be more efficient, so that I wouldn't lose items. I wouldn't have items I couldn't find. It would take me an hour to find an item. I want to know that, okay, this pair of Levi's sold. They say they're in tote A. I go to tote A and there they are. That's what I want, and I'm very excited about that. I want to be more efficient. So those two are big ones. More listings probably will equal more sales, and the better you are, more efficient at your other parts of your job, your shipping, your whatever, the more time you have to do the good stuff, whether it's sourcing or photographing or, whatever it is. And I think that's a really good thing for my business. For me, the last step in this whole inventory thing is going through sold listings, maybe for the last 3 months. I think that's where I'm going to start, and double checking that they're not listed on another platform, just to double check until I actually get my butt in gear. And always, 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 when something sells, go to my platforms and delist it. I know there's programs out there that will do that for you. I don't know if they're available here in Canada, and I don't use a cross-lister that I upload all my listings to. I use one that is a Google extension that I cross-list one by one. So for me, I have to make it a habit of when something sells, going to the platforms and making sure I delist it. That is my habit that I have to work on. So we'll see. That's my last step in this whole thing. And I think in the long run, it's just going to make me a better business person. Now, I'm doing this huge overhaul right now. It's February, and I just sort of got lucky because I was not shopping this week, so I had extra time. I don't want to be doing it in the winter. I think I'm going to be doing it in July. So I probably will redo it again in July this year, just to be good, because if I'm increasing my listings, I want to make sure that my habits and my jobs that I'm doing are still good. And then I think I might just revisit it again in February, see what I feel, but doing it every July. Is this important? I think it's very important that you keep track of what you have listed, and that way you just become more efficient and you feel that much more in control. And I recommend anybody to do this, to go through, even if it's one tote or one box at a time, and making sure that what's in there is supposed to be in there. I think it's really good sort of habit to have. So I would absolutely recommend anybody doing this. That's about it. I think I've told you everything I needed to tell you. I think so. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I will be back sometime next week. We don't know when. We'll see. Anyway, that is it for me. Yeah, have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.